Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, I found something incredible on the altcoin charts. As you can see, on a lot of the major altcoin charts, we're seeing bullish breakouts above crucial levels of resistance, such as the 20 weekly exponential moving average and the 50 weekly simple moving average. These are major barriers that these altcoins need to break through in order to institute new rallies and hopefully, in general, start a new altcoin cycle, which could help propel Bitcoin back up to and above $10,000. So, in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the question, are the major altcoins about to enter major rallies, and is an altcoin season coming? We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's video. But before we dive on into that, I do first want to mention the sale that is running on CT2A right now. As you guys know, if you use the February 2020 coupon, you're going to get $40 off at checkout. You're going to get access to everything you need to learn how to do technical analysis on cryptocurrency markets, trade them for a profit. One of our students the other day in the comment section actually said that CT2A is the Walmart of cryptocurrency, which is funny because we cover pretty much everything. He's got a good point. Anyway, guys, more on that at the end of the video, but without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Alright guys, before we get to the altcoin analysis, let's first pay our respects to Bitcoin because there is a little bit of analysis that we could do over here. As you guys can see, overnight Bitcoin has rallied up to around $9,450 after falling down to a level of support around $9,175. And Bitcoin pulling back to that level of support around $9,175 is actually something that we mentioned a few videos ago, which I'll go ahead and show you right now. The thing is, if Bitcoin breaks to the downside, then we could also get support here on 91.75 and then bounce. So even a bearish breakout isn't necessarily a major bearish thing. As I said in that video, there was a pretty decent chance that Bitcoin was going to break to the downside, and if it did, one of the possible levels of support that it could go to is $9,175. As you guys will know from our analysis over the last couple of weeks, that is a major level of support and resistance as Bitcoin has come down and tested it multiple times. We saw Bitcoin pull back to this level and bounce last night, which is a very good thing. I want to see a bounce in Bitcoin right now, especially considering we are looking at a bearish cross on the daily chart MACD. Right now, I haven't seen this happen in a very long time, but we're seeing the MACD and the signal line sit literally right on top of each other. So there's actually no histogram bars down here. That doesn't happen very often, and it's always very interesting when it does. Nevertheless, should Bitcoin hold here and rally up above about $9,700, which is our current high, then the rally will probably continue from there. Anyway, for once, the video is not all about Bitcoin, so let's go ahead and dive into some analysis on the altcoins. The first thing I want to do, though, is head on over to CoinMarketCap. For some of you older subscribers of the channel, you'll remember the crypto market recap that we did at the beginning of every video. We're going to do a little bit one of those right now, because, guys, as you can see, Bitcoin is up 3%, and all of the other altcoins are up significantly higher than 3%, because if we go to our Bitcoin comparatives, what we're going to see is that these altcoins are up on their Bitcoin comparatives, which means they are up more than Bitcoin is. Ethereum's up 2.4%, XRP is up 4%, Bitcoin Cash is up 10%, Bitcoin SV is up 3%, which is only about 103% higher than it should be. Tether is down, which, you know, makes sense because Bitcoin's up. Litecoin's up. EOS is up. Almost every single cryptocurrency here is up. On our Bitcoin comparatives, there are only a handful, and by a handful, I mean maybe 20% of the altcoins in the top 100 are actually in the red, and the ones that are not very far in the red. Some of our biggest gainers up here are up over 10% on their Bitcoin comparatives on a day that Bitcoin's already up, so that's a very good sign. One thing I also want to mention is the Bitcoin dominance, because if we go over here to our Bitcoin dominance, we're going to find that dominance on Bitcoin, I feel like I can only say Bitcoin dominance so many times without, like, getting demonetized, but nevertheless, Bitcoin dominance is down several percentage points over the last few days. As you can see here in January and on into February, Bitcoin's dominance has been declining, and we're down below 66% right now, which obviously means that valuation is rallying back into the altcoins, which makes sense when we look at the charts as we did earlier and as we're about to. And guys, an interesting thing happens when you look at Bitcoin rallies. A lot of times when Bitcoin's in a rally, it's actually losing dominance because those altcoins will pick up the steam and go into altcoin cycles. That's what we saw happen in 2017. Around the beginning of 2017, Bitcoin's dominance was at 85%, and then it jumped off the metaphorical cliff, and Ethereum nearly passed it in dominance. Look at this. On June 18th, 2017, Ethereum was only 6 percentage points away from Bitcoin in dominance. That's ridiculous. And guys, here's the thing. There's two things that we can read into this before we get any further in the video. One, it could mean that Bitcoin's overinflated and that everybody's speculating on Bitcoin and ignoring the altcoin. There's an argument to be made there, and that'll probably be its own video here relatively soon. But I also want to address the argument in today's video that the altcoins are undervalued compared to Bitcoin's value, especially now that we're re-entering a bull market. I think these altcoins are going to see some love, and that's what the technicals are showing us, so let's dive on into that. First things first, guys, we got to get Ethereum out of the way, and Ethereum is looking very, very healthy right now. Why do I say it like that? Well, the reason is because Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, has to look at a bunch of different technicals to see if it's going to enter a new rally or not. One of those subsets of indicators would be the moving averages. How is Ethereum lining up in relation to its moving averages? Well, if you guys will remember to a few days ago, we were talking about on Bitcoin how the 20 daily exponential moving average was crossing bullish above the 200 daily simple moving average. That's a golden cross. We're seeing the exact same thing happen today on Ethereum over US dollar. A similar cross on the 50 and the 100 as we saw on Bitcoin recently. That cross, by the way, looks just like this. We saw these crosses relatively recently. That same kind of thing is coming to Ethereum relatively soon. One of them has already happened. And also, we need to address the elephant in the room here. Ethereum is above all 4 of its moving averages. That's something that Bitcoin's doing right now. But honestly, Ethereum looks even more bullish than Bitcoin does right now on its US dollar comparative, especially considering they're both in almost identical technical situations where they are in rallies, they're above all of these moving averages, and they're having golden crosses. In fact, yeah, I had a feeling, I hadn't checked this, but I just had a feeling based on the way Ethereum was moving that we had just seen a weekly MACD cross. Lo and behold, 3 weeks ago, we saw one on Ethereum. And guys, there's also the weekly chart I want to show you because Ethereum is seeing some very bullish things happen out here. Of course, we're above all of those daily chart moving averages, but we're also above these two, the 20 weekly exponential moving average and the 50 weekly simple moving average. Both of these are very important, and the fact that Ethereum's above this moving average, the 50 in particular, means that I'm probably about to go and put in a low to mid-ish leverage long position, and I'm going to hold it for a few weeks on Ethereum because I'm feeling very bullish on its market. I might wait until Bitcoin goes back to a new yearly high first to do that, though. One more thing to mention on Ethereum before we go is that it's currently sitting above a very obvious level of support and resistance that we've seen Ethereum come down to many times. We saw Bitcoin pull back here, we saw Bitcoin pull back here, and we saw Bitcoin rally to it as resistance right there. The level that Ethereum's trying to get through right now, around $197 to $200, is a crucial level of resistance, and if we bring up our VPVR, we're also going to see that there's a VPVR climax that Ethereum's trying to get above, especially if you were to enter around like 230, 240, that could be a very profitable and lucrative trade on Ethereum. And remember, guys, these are not Bitcoin movements. These are altcoin movements, and they tend to be quite a bit bigger in percentage gains and swings. Ethereum rallying to its recent high would be an 80 to 90% rally. You throw in some leverage on that, you make one trade, and you could be talking about several hundred percentage points in profit. Now, we got to keep moving on here because there's a lot of altcoins to get to. We also want to talk about the rest of the big five. And I'm going to be kind of brief on these because I already laid the foundation. Ethereum over BTC, which is a very important chart, is also looking very bullish with its moving averages in the same way that we just saw with our other chart. And out here on the weekly chart as well, you can see that Ethereum has just gotten above its 20 weekly exponential moving average, also a bullish sign. Moving on to XRP, guys, we're seeing the exact same thing happen. Weekly chart, XRP is above the 20. On the daily chart, we're above everything, just the same as it was on Ethereum over US dollar. XRP over BTC has seen a major rally over the last few days as we have rallied from around 2,500 Satoshis to 2,900 Satoshis. That is definitely nothing to write off. As you can see, that's about a 16% move in the span of less than a week. And guys, same thing's true with the MACD out here. Daily chart MACD cross, weekly chart MACD is getting close. Actually, I'm sorry, weekly MACD chart is already bullish. It's just very, very close to itself. Bitcoin Cash, this is another big one. This is one that we're going to talk about a little bit more. Weekly chart, major bullish MACD cross. In fact, we're also above the 20 and the 50, and now we're testing the 100. And funnily enough, guys, look at this. On the weekly chart, golden cross, boom. 20's crossing above the 50. That is going to be important on Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash over Bitcoin, I mean, we're above everything. What more do you want? And the last one we'll talk about here briefly before we do some more just general space analysis on the altcoins is Litecoin. As you guys know, that's one of my favorite cryptocurrencies in the entire market, other than, of course, the big daddy Bitcoin. And as you can see, Litecoin over US dollar is getting above everything. We're seeing a golden cross between the 50 and the 100. We're about to see a golden cross between the 20 and the 200. Litecoin is just below some levels of resistance here, and it looks like it's going to get above them. Also a bullish cross on the weekly chart. RSI looks good. There's really nothing to be concerned about here with these altcoins as far as technicals are concerned. And a similar thing is true here on the weekly chart for Litecoin over Bitcoin, a very important comparative. As you can see, we're above the 20, and we're seeing golden cross potential up here as well with a very long-term bullish MACD. RSI looks great. All right, so I just expended all my breath doing technical analysis on about 10 different charts in the last like 5 minutes. So let's jump back to full screen because there are a few things I want to add to that. The first thing is that since I don't talk about altcoins a whole lot, I want to make sure you guys are aware of this. Altcoins are very dependent on their Bitcoin price action. Anything outside of the top 5 altcoins, I generally don't even look at their US dollar comparatives because generally people are trading them over Bitcoin. And what that means is that they are very susceptible to movements in Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is in a rally, the altcoins tend to rally even more than Bitcoin does. But when Bitcoin is in a downtrend, altcoins tend to downtrend and crash even harder than Bitcoin does. They tend to be more volatile, and they also tend to move in a similar direction as Bitcoin while also retaining far less of their value. Over the last 2 years, we've seen a trend of altcoins losing market dominance to Bitcoin. That's something we looked at earlier. And I want you guys to be aware of this because if Bitcoin does have a correction below major levels of support, moves back to like $8,000 or something, be wary of the altcoins because people are going to leave the altcoins and move into what they consider a safer bet, which is Bitcoin. So if you're ever invested in altcoins, it's generally a good idea to invest in them when Bitcoin is already looking healthy. They'll generally bring better returns than Bitcoin, but you also have to realize Bitcoin itself is a very risky asset. Altcoins are even more so. But that doesn't mean that there is not a lot of money to be made on altcoins, because there most certainly is. One thing I also want to mention, guys, is that as the altcoin space is heating up, I noticed this over in our free Discord server. Let me go ahead and show you here. Also going to move myself over here. And as you guys can see, the last couple of days, pretty much every single news article that was posted here in our free Discord server by our auto news bot has been about altcoins. Ethereum's ratio to futures FOMO, Ethereum miners hoard ETH, the IOTA week, Ethereum 2.0, Ripple, IOTA, XRP price. Pretty much every single news story that has come out of this news bot has been on altcoins lately, not Bitcoin. Which is interesting because Bitcoin's the one that's rallying, but actually a lot of the interest in the space seems to be flowing back into the altcoins, which is a trend we saw at the beginning of the 2016-17 bull market. Definitely something to keep in mind. And these are not insignificant stories either. XRP price jumps 11% as Ripple Inc. partners with major remittance company. That's a story that I've been following for a little while now. That's a big one. Ripple could see a liquidity push as new perpetual swaps. Another big deal. Ethereum 2.0 token economics might be subject to an internal audit. Okay, well, that's not necessarily a good thing, but there's definitely a lot of news surrounding the cryptocurrency space, and the more news there is, generally, the better the altcoin is going to perform. So where does that leave us, guys? Well, I think it's very obvious based on the weekly chart MACD on pretty much every single major cryptocurrency right now being bullish that we are entering a bull market and that one is coming over the next couple of months. That being said, February might not be that interesting in cryptocurrencies. I could see Bitcoin trading sideways here for a little while, and frankly, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I would actually kind of like for that to happen. I want to see Bitcoin lock in these gains, and I want to see these altcoins get some more movement under them, and I also want to see more inflows of external cash coming into the space. That's something we talked about in yesterday's video. I'd highly encourage you to watch that. It's a very, very important part of analysis. By the way, that whale that we talked about yesterday made $2 million since I made that video. The dude knows what he's talking about. Anyway, guys, before I go, I do first want to mention the sale that's running on CT2A right now. As you guys know, there's over 34 videos in this course and 10 hours of high-quality content that's going to teach you everything you need to know to trade and profit in cryptocurrency markets. Like I said, one of our students commented on a video a few days ago and said, CT2A is basically the Walmart of cryptocurrency. For the purposes of branding, though, however, I would like to mention you don't have to stand in a checkout line for 45 minutes to try and get out of CT2A like you do in Walmart, but I think the point he was trying to make is that everything can be found in Walmart and everything can be found in CT2A. Guys, down here in the technical analysis section of the course, you're going to find a gold mine of wisdom that I have learned over the course of nearly 3 years working in these markets every single day for hours a day. I have my finger on the pulse of cryptocurrency. I am a YouTuber who works in the space. There's 700 videos on this channel. I know what I'm talking about, and the nearly 1,200 students in CT2A will attest to that. If you'd like to talk to some of them, you can join our free Discord server and ask them what they have to think about the Academy. I would love for you to get one of their private testimonies before you join us so that you can be totally confident in your purchase. I'm sure you'll like it after you join, but if you'd like to do that, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy can be asked questions about in our free Discord server linked down below. Anyway, guys, that $40 off coupon code is going to be running through Friday, so if you guys are interested, I highly recommend checking us out. The link in the description down below. As you know, we have a 14-day money-back refund guarantee, no questions asked, and yes, you can pay in Bitcoin. But anyway, guys, before we go, I do first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.